Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be my hardwood floors cleaning routine, and I also wanted to do an update on my iRobot Braava 380t. I had originally done a video on it when I first got it, but I have not done like an updated video, and I also wanted to show more of it in action. So here is my formal dining room, and what you saw in the beginning is I used the sweeper pads to put on the sweeper attachment that you saw. I showed the Swiffer pads on the attachment before I started this part of the video. So here it's just showing how, like, I wanted to really show how it moved around the room and really get a good documentation of that, because honestly I never watched this thing. I just put it down and then I am off. So this thing is a really powerful tool to me, because honestly you can go and set this on your floor, start it up and leave it. You can see on the edges here too, it's not falling on the floor. I have a step right there, and this has never even come close. It scares you the first few times because it goes at a high speed towards that ledge there and then it stops. So I was scared the first few times, but then we were good to go. So as I was saying, this is a really powerful tool in my eyes. So it really gets around every nook and cranny, and later on here you will see that it actually gets right up against those baseboards and it goes in a perfectly straight line. Sometimes it'll do some weird things and you're not really sure what it's doing, but I think that's just the GPS on it trying to figure out like where things are and like where the edge of the room is at, because after it does that then it goes like down a straight line across the room, like I said, across the baseboards, against the baseboards I should say. And I'm just like, what? So it really does a great job. Now I will say every couple of weeks I will go in with my vacuum and like pull out the wand and hit like the baseboards really well, and also wipe my baseboards down every once in a while. But like for everyday cleaning, not every day, but like once a week, this would be just fine, I think. So I do have also down below, if you want to read some Amazon reviews on it, I will have the link down in the description box below. Also, I will be talking about the Bissell Power Fresh Deluxe Steam Mop, and I'll have a link for that down below too if you want to go look and read some reviews on Amazon and see what other people think. There's the end. It docks directly in front of the GPS unit. There is the dirt that it picked up off the Swiffer. I really like the Swiffer pads. I feel like they just do a really nice job. So the next part I tackle is the entryway, and I move my bench out of there, and you can see the cat. It's a great cat toy. The cat loves watching it. I try to move everything off the floor, and then the mailbox center, I think that's what that's called, I kind of turn it so that the iRobot can get around it. But you can leave all your furniture exactly the way you want. You don't have to move things around. I just feel like it gets a more thorough clean if I move it. But you can leave your furniture as is, and you can see right here it's just going around it just fine. So, but I just like the bench, I feel like it would be hard for it to get around the bench backed up against the wall over there you can see by the outlet. So you can just see it just kind of goes in a straightforward pattern. It goes back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And then you can see here, it looks like it's kind of navigating to where the edge of the room is, because it's going to go up against it. Like I said, it goes right up against the baseboards in a very straight line. But I think it has to kind of find out where everything is at. I also think we have like a little bevel right there, a little beveled edge, and I think sometimes that confuses it a little bit, but other than that, I haven't had any issues. Now when we get to the kitchen, I'll talk about something there as far as this is concerned. So yeah, so basically I would say a cycle takes maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Now usually what I would do if I'm using the mopper part of this iRobot, I would do I do all the sweeping of these two areas first, and then I'd put on the mop head attachment and then let it go to work mopping. It does a really great job mopping as well. I mean, it covers every single spot. So there it is docking again. So it kind of docks. I'm showing the GPS pod, and then now I'm showing what it picked up. You can see a lot of glitter. There's a lot of glitter going on around here with Christmas. So I'm showing how much dirt it actually picks up. Okay, so now this is the Bissell PowerFresh Deluxe Steam Mop, and I'm just showing you the power panel, and then the water tank is right there. This thing is super lightweight, and it is so much better than the one I had before. The other one I had was super heavy, really bulky. I feel like this one is just so much better. So now I'm showing you the side profile, and you can take off the, what is that called? Like the, oh gosh, the mop cloth and wash it and reuse it. So I love that about it. I use distilled water in the tank. I think it recommends doing that. It has two different settings. It has a low steam and a high steam. You can also remove this is my husband. I decided to recruit my husband for this because he is OCD about mopping. He will do like a better mop job than I will. So I asked him if he would help, and he was like, yeah. You can see I'm pointing him. Go over there. But you can take the long part of that steam mop there, and it detaches off the flat part, the mopper part, and you can actually use it to really, like, if you have a really dirty area. I should have showed that, but I didn't. I'm sorry. But you can use the steam from that, and it's more concentrated, I guess, to really clean, like if you have a really dirty spot. So here he is just mopping away. And we didn't have to use any cleaning products for this whatsoever. It's just all distilled water. And then obviously the Swiffer sweepers, the replaceable pads. And so he's just going back and forth. I think the slower you go, the better, because you're really sanitizing at that point, which I really love. Now, on some occasions, I will just go with my Rubberhead Reveal, or Rubbermaid, sorry, Rubberhead, oh geez, Rubbermaid Reveal mop. And then I also do the baseboards as well. I'll go with a microfiber cloth and do that. Now in the kitchen, I need to use water and soap for sure, but in there it's just more dust. So that was the final look at the floors when they were all done. What was I saying? Oh, about the Rubberhead Reveal mop. I will go ahead and just use that just to do a quick clean if I want to. But this is more of like, I would say like more of a thorough clean. If I wanted to do like a deep, deep clean, I would go ahead and go in with I would probably still use this robot and then go ahead and go in with my vacuum and do like a quick around like the edges and pull out the wand and hit the spider webs or something. Because this thing can't get spider webs that are like kind of up on the wall a little bit. Like they're low, but they're still on the wall, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So now the kitchen. I forgot in the kitchen, I usually block off. Like you can see we have the kitchen where the oven and the sink and the refrigerator are. And then over here we have our eat-in breakfast area. I still don't know what that's called. This little area here that's part of the kitchen, but it's more of like where we have the dining table where we eat breakfast, whatever. So I usually block that off into two sections. I think because sometimes the GPS pod has trouble. I'm not really sure. I feel like there's like a amount of space that you're supposed to like stick to with this thing, like a certain amount of square feet. And I feel like it just does better when I block off the kitchen area. And usually what I would do with that is I would put like a sweep, a broom, sorry. I would put like a broom across the ledge there and back it up with chairs so it holds it in place. That way the robot would hit up against the sweeper wood part handle. I'm terrible with trying to explain what I mean. I should have just showed you guys, but I honestly didn't think about it until after I had started the iRobot. So that was that. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see in the back corner behind the refrigerator, I have our hanging clothesline rack and then a vacuum attachment to kind of block it off that way because I don't want it to go in the hallway. So, because it gets confused in the hallway too, because you can buy additional of the GPS pod. See, there it is going up against the edge right there. Like it goes in a perfectly straight line. It's really a beautiful thing, I think. So it does really well around, like we have an indent here where the wall kind of turns a little bit. And yeah, so it does really well on that part too. So like right here, like you're not really sure what it's doing. You're like, what the hell is it doing? It's going in circles. But I think that's just its way of like gauging where everything is at. Also, does anyone have the issue where they, like, I've never noticed this before. I've never noticed those cords hanging on the right. I never noticed until I was back watching this video and I was like, do those cords always hang like that? That looks awful. So right after this video was done, I went ahead and moved the cords so that they didn't look so horrible. So now if I do this in two separate parts for the kitchen and the eat-in kitchen part, it seems to go a little bit faster because you'll notice it just goes back and forth, back and forth. But then when it hits the eat-in kitchen, it kind of, it has to go down that way. And then, so I think it'll head back in here in just a minute after it's done. See, now it goes right up against the dishwasher there, and then it goes up against where you just saw. So here it goes. It's going back in the kitchen. I mean, the eat-in dining area. And yeah. So yeah, so I do really like this. I think I've had it. When did I do my review and well, not open boxing, but when I kind of first got it and I was kind of showing the things that came in the box. Maybe 2 years ago. I've been loving it. I love the fact that you can be, like, in your head, you're doing two things at once, So, and then also it mops as well. I think I already mentioned that, but if you don't want to mop that particular day, it does do an amazing job mopping as well. In fact, even I would say that even makes it better because it kind of, if anything is missed, which is pretty rare, the mopper will get it. So that's a nice little feature. So I don't know if they've come out. There's a cat again. That was kind of funny. In slow motion, the cat jumps. So that was kind of funny. But I don't know if they've made a newer version of this or not, but I really like this one. Now, when I was buying this, there was two. There was that white one, and I feel like, I don't know, I just didn't like that one. I liked this one a little bit better, but I never used the white one either, so I can't really comment. I just know, like, looking from a buyer's perspective, that I really liked the black one better. It just seemed like it had better reviews. So here it is. Now it has gotten stuck under here before. I don't know if it like remembers after so many times of using it, but it's never gotten, there's my husband again. So I don't know if it remembers after certain, after so many uses that it remembers, but it did get stuck under the kitchen table once, and it has gotten stuck under the refrigerator before, but that hasn't happened in a really long time. So again, I don't know. There's the dog probably trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So that is what it picked up off the kitchen. Now, if you have animals, I think it does a really great job picking up animal hair. So this is my husband mopping again for me, and he's doing a really great job. So basically the kitchen I always find too, I don't know, do you guys have this issue where you have to go in? I always have to get on my hands and knees and do the baseboards and the lower wall. I don't know what it is about the dog. I don't know if it's the dog because that's where the door is, where he goes outside. But I feel like the dog is always hitting up his body up against the side of there. So I always feel like I have to get on my hands and knees and clean the floor. So that would also be included as well after I finished mopping, or before sometimes. But I didn't show that on camera. I figured that was kind of boring. But I will usually just take some just regular soap and water and a microfiber cloth, and then I have one wet and then one dry, and then I'll just go over the walls wet and then dry. Now be careful though about your paint. If you don't have a really durable paint, it'll leave a stain, like a water stain. So just be cautious of that. I've done that before I painted the entire house. I've painted so many rooms in this house, it's crazy. But I'm trying to think what the good paint is. I think flat, you don't want to put anything wet, or you don't want to put anything on there because it'll mark it right up. So we did have all flat paint in here when we moved in. So this is the bathroom now. I use my Shark rotator. I still use that. I still love that vacuum. But So I usually use it in here. I have trouble with the rugs though, so eventually I would like to try like the Dyson or something to see how it works on rugs because I think it just goes over rugs. But this is the attachment that the Shark has, and I'm just actually, this is my husband going over the bathroom for me, just doing a quick vacuum. I had done it probably about a week before, so it didn't really need it too bad. And then also we get really bad like mildew on our shower right there, so I was just like, just suck that up, please. So this is our hallway. We have bamboo floors. Long story how we ended up with bamboo floors in there, but if I could have those all over my house, I would. I love those. So this is my new Shark vacuum, and I'm just using it to vacuum this hallway. And yeah, it works really well. I don't have any problem. I just usually just do a quick vacuum. It's not too difficult. Like I said, I'll do the baseboards and stuff usually as well. Just a quick, depending on how dirty they are or dusty they are. Actually, it's always dust. It's always animal hair and dust. Who else has that issue? Drives me crazy. So here's the mop again. Again, really like this mop. I feel like it does just the perfect job. So, all right, that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see